You might have heard me throw around the term life coaching if you've been around this podcast for more than a few minutes, but you might wonder, what is it? And even more importantly, why is this even something I would want? Is it therapy? Is it someone telling me that I'm just thinking wrong about everything? And it's neither of those things, but really I want to dive in and tell you all about what it is and why it should matter to you. So keep listening. Welcome to Educate and Rejuvenate, the podcast to help you revitalize your teaching, renew your spirit, and reignite your passion for life. I'm your host, Kelsey Sorensen, a former teacher, current homeschool mom, published author, and certified life coach. Whether you are a teacher in a traditional classroom, homeschool from your kitchen table, or anywhere in between, I am on a mission to help you not only survive as an educator, but thrive. Get ready to uplevel your skills with incredible insights from guest experts and discover the missing piece, rejuvenating yourself. Are you ready to both educate and rejuvenate? Let's go. Hey everybody, I am back fresh from a relaxing weekend after our incredible educating and rejuvenating event last week, our third summer 2024 conference. And it was so incredible, just like always, because of the amazing people who were in the chat supporting each other and the incredible speakers who came and did the live roundtables. And right now, everybody is still enjoying all the incredible pre-recorded sessions all the way to the end of the month. I just love this event that we get to do twice a year. Such a great time. But if you've been at that event, you might have heard me mention life coaching, or even if you've just been around this podcast. And if you attended the group life coaching during the event, you are going to have seen kind of what it entails. But if not, you might have a ticket and not have attended. In fact, it was only a small fraction of those who had a ticket who attended those live. And we know a lot of people might have been out of town, or like it was long days. If you were Eastern time, the coaching was at the end of the day, you might have been making dinner or whatever. So I want to make sure that you know what it is so you can make an informed decision on if the Educate and Rejuvenate Club that we've been emailing about and launching right now is right for you, because they don't want you to make a decision about it without understanding what it even is, or even why it might be important, why it might be something you want. So I recorded a clip last year when we launched the club where I did a really good job going in depth of what this coaching is. And so I'm going to play that for you in a minute. But I also wanted to share not just what it is, but why is it important before I roll that clip. And then I also want to mention a few caveats before we get into it too. So first, we are now the Educate and Rejuvenate Club. So a few times in that clip, I wasn't really able to edit out because it would have just sounded weird where I said wife, teacher, mommy club. It's the same membership. We've just renamed it, rebranded to the Educate and Rejuvenate Club. So you'll hear me mention that a few times, but again, it's the same thing. We also have a few more incredible coaches. So I believe in this clip, I mentioned me and Chrissy, but we now have some other incredible coaches who you have heard on a panel just a couple months ago, but also we'll air another section of the panel we did at Educate and Rejuvenate next week. So stay tuned, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss that. And another thing we've added since I talked about the club last year is we have a mobile app that's coming out next month. So you're going to be able to consume replays of coaching on the go, making it really easy to utilize all the coaching, just as easy as it is for you to pull out and listen to this podcast. You'll be able to pull out and listen to coaching anytime. In fact, this podcast is going to be going back to one time a week. And I don't think I'm ever going to go back to twice a week because I really want to continue being able to give my all to our members. And I now, with our lifetime membership, we had such a big uptake of that, even more than I expected, that I have a lot of one-on-one sessions to be doing that I'm so thrilled about. Okay, but other than that, everything I explained about what the coaching is just like it is now. The experience is just getting better as time goes on. But like I said, I want to share the why, because the what doesn't matter. The format, the like, what it is, you get coaching calls. Like, why does that matter? Why do you care about getting coaching calls? Why do we need something else to spend my time on, right? So I really need to explain why it is that this is important. And to do that, I want to share some research that I found while writing my book. And I shared this at Educate and Rejuvenate, but most of you weren't there. In a groundbreaking study that was done by Sunny Smith. She is a physician. She is also certified by the Life Coach School, where I got my life coaching certification. And because she's a physician, she knows how to do all the incredible studies, doing it completely research back, completely like fair and just and right, the way they should be done, and get them published in these medical journals following their exact formulas, the way the studies need to be done. And that's something that, as an educator, I have not done medical studies. That is not my thing, but it is her thing. And so they studied what it was like for physician burnout. So they did a study of over 1,000 women physicians who were in a coaching program. Now, just like educators, whether you're a homeschool mom or you're a teacher or you're an administrator, you know that burnout is really common, right? In fact, a stat I showed was 44% said they're always or almost always burned out. And I asked if people were surprised, and the only ones who were surprised that number wasn't even higher, right? So we definitely have burnout. Physicians do too. They have imagine what it was like, especially during COVID, like being a doctor and all the aftermath of all of that. So they're very burned out too. We're not alone in this, right? But so they were studied doing an 8-week group coaching program to see even just what 8 weeks would do for them. And so this groundbreaking study across 26 different medical institutions, it's not just in one place, they're studying them all over the country, just like our program is teachers all over the country. So participants who participated in it for only 8 weeks, right? They reported less emotional exhaustion. They also reported less depersonalization. And if you don't know what that means, it means they felt more connected with themselves. Before, they were kind of feeling some disconnect from self, right? They were so consumed by work and everything else, and they were able to feel that more connection with themselves. They also felt less imposter syndrome. They felt more confident in their abilities as a physician. And they also felt less distress caused by actions conflicting with their moral values. That's called moral injury. And a lot of times with doctors, if it's like, oh, I need to do something, but this is actually against my values. And that happens in teaching too, right? And sometimes it's about holding boundaries. Sometimes it's about walking through the mindset behind it and everything. Coaching helps with all of that. They also showed an increased, and here's the other thing that's very important, because a lot of people think coaching, they're like, okay, you're just telling me to change my thoughts about everything. Is this toxic positivity? What is this? It is not just that, right? It is about having a lot of self-compassion for ourselves. And so through this, they also showed increased self-compassion as measured by the Neff Self-Compassion Scale short form, which is if you don't know Kristen Neff, she's the author of the book Self-Compassion and the more recent Fierce Self-Compassion, the leading research behind self-compassion. And so this is a very accurate scale of how to measure that their self-compassion went up. And it also improved their overall flourishing, like how they were like succeeding, not only in their career as a doctor, but also in life, according to the Secure Flourish Index. So again, they're using these measurements to standardize and make sure they understand how this is helping them. And they even followed up. They're like, they only did an 8-week thing, right? And so you could do that in the club if you wanted. You could join for 8 weeks and cancel if you wanted. But most of our people find that they want to keep doing this because it's helping them so much. But again, they were able to follow up and see, oh yeah, this stuff is sticking. Because once you learn a lot of these tools, once you observe yourself and you see what's going on, you can't unsee what you've seen, right? Kind of like we talk about on this podcast. And you can imagine if this worked for doctors and the burnout in their profession, of course it's going to work for teachers too, because these aren't things that it's like, oh, this only works on a doctor's brain or a doctor's nervous system or a doctor processing their emotions, but it works for everybody. It's a human thing, and it's going to help you in your burnout and however you educate and whatever else is going on in your life, family drama, caring for aging parents, raising difficult children, whatever it is, this coaching is going to help you. So let's get into what it is. So now you know, okay, this is what it can do. This is why it's important, but what actually is it? And how am I going to make time for it in my busy schedule? So let's get into that in this clip I recorded last year. I'm so excited to be talking about one of my absolute favorite things on the podcast today, life coaching, and what it is and how it can help you. So if you're listening today, you're going to learn all about it and kind of how it works. And hopefully you'll be able to leave this episode knowing whether or not this is something that you would like to have in your life. But before I dive in, I want to read a review that came in for the podcast from, actually, I can recognize her name from one of our club members, Rose. Thank you so much for leaving this review, Rose. And here's what she had to say. She said, loving it. I've been a longtime follower on the internet and Facebook. However, I was not much listening to podcasts because my mind would wander. However, I love listening to Kelsey and her guests. They are upbeat, positive, and offer a lot of great information. I've been having a rough year and they have been my lifesaver. Thank you, Kelsey, and everyone else for being there, both live and not. You have definitely been an answer to my prayers, and I'm looking forward to Educate and Rejuvenate at the end of the month. I cannot wait. Keep up the great work.
And Rose is one of our incredible club members who regularly attends our coaching calls. Thank you so much for leaving that review. And I'm so glad that we have helped you because it's mutual. I love being able to help all the teachers out there. It is what I'm passionate about. I love helping show you these coaching tools, and they've changed my life. And I just really want to help them change your life too. Okay, so today's episode is going to be a little different than most episodes. Usually I'm like teaching you something, but today I'm giving you a sneak peek behind the scenes of what life coaching is and how it works inside Wife Teacher Mommy Club so you can know if it's right for you. So first, I want to talk about what is life coaching, because a lot of people even wonder that. And the thing about life coaching is I say teaching resources and you immediately know what I'm talking about. Like, oh yeah, like TPT, or I can just download and use it. But life coaching isn't so simple that you can just like explain it and everybody knows exactly what you're talking about. One sentence that my team came up with for our new page we created for Wife Teacher Mommy Club is teacher life coaching is just like tutoring, but the subject you're studying is yourself. And I love this because that's really kind of sums it up in a gist. It's like you're figuring out what is going on inside your mind, how it's creating your feelings, and the results that you're seeing in your life. Now, a life coach is there to help you improve your life inside and outside the classroom, feel better, and help you reach your goals. Now, I'm going to read a quote from the Life Coach School website, which is the school that I went to, and Chrissy Nichols, our other coach inside the club. And this is what they have to say about life coaching. The reality is the life coach industry is exploding. In fact, it's one of the fastest growing industries in the world. So why would you need a life coach in the first place? Simply put, coaching helps you identify what's going on in your own brain. When you feel unable to get results you want or feel frustrated with your life, coaching is the answer. A life coach can help you recognize where you're stuck and show you exactly what to change when you can't see it yourself. A life coach is the best friend who will call you out when you're showing up in a way you don't want to, give you tough love, and believe in you way before you are able to. They can help you create the exact life you've always wanted. Now you might hear that though and be like, well, I don't care about looking inside my brain. That's not really like the problem I have right now. And the thing is, that's kind of the method to solve whatever problem it is you're wanting to solve. Now, so I want to share kind of a few examples of things that we've helped teachers with inside the club. So here's one example. So there was a teacher who felt like she was being excluded by her teacher friends. And actually, this has come up a couple times. She was able to figure out how she can show confidence through vulnerability. And then she was able to create a deeper friendships with colleagues that she cares about and is always getting invited to happy hour. Now, another problem you might look at as an example inside the club, the kids were unmotivated to learn and do their work. We've all seen this, right? And a lesson that we can learn in coaching is how to get curious about why this is happening to come up with a new solution. Instead of a lot of times what happens is we get frustrated by what's happening isn't working. I have a whole podcast about like kind of coaching on this topic. Through this, that one of the teachers we worked with, her relationship with her kids had improved drastically by the end of the school year. Another problem is this was a homeschool mom who came to me and she had a hard time finding time for herself because she felt like she was always with her kids and, they were never gone. And the lesson that she was able to learn is we're taking time for even just 10 minutes a day. And now she feels more rested and connected just from journaling 10 minutes before bed. And one last example, if a teacher could come and feel disappointed or angered from not getting their teaching contract renewed, and through coaching and talking through it and really seeing what's going on inside their mind, they're able to celebrate the wins anyways, what had gone well during the school year, and truly celebrate all that they had done. And this member felt so loved while they were getting coaching and reflecting on the good things. And the great thing is, because this was group coaching, everybody was chiming in with support. So this is the beauty of group coaching and what it is. So a little bit more about what group coaching is. Inside our group coaching, you get access to weekly group coaching calls with our certified life coaches. Right now, that consists of me and Chrissy Nichols from the Chrissy Concept and the Teacher Talk. We help you work through the hard stuff and stay focused on your why. And each week, we'll discuss common themed topics. We usually have our members vote on like what they'd most like to hear about. So usually Chrissy and I will come prepared with a little lesson with open time at the end for any questions or concerns you bring to the call. As a group, we tackle things such as like how to stop grading on the weekends, decreasing planning time while still feeling like an effective teacher, turning burnout and overwhelm into confidence and greater self-worth, how to balance being a teacher and a parent without compromising or feeling like you're failing. And the great thing about coaching is you don't have to come up with everything yourself. Like you don't have to show up to call and be like, what do you want coaching on today? And feel like you need to come ready to do that every single time. Like you can. There are great opportunities, especially right now. If you join now before the club grows even more, there are more opportunities for you to be one-on-one coach. But you can also come and learn from others, learn from peers, and they might bring something up that you're like, oh my goodness, I needed coaching on that too, and I didn't even know it. So you get to learn from your peers. It's such a rich learning environment, and you'll get to hear things that you didn't even think to ask. The other great thing about group coaching is that even if you aren't able to make the times, you are able to learn from seeing other people coached on the replays or even listening on the members only private podcast. We have a podcast feed that every single coaching call goes on to. So you will be able to listen to coaching on the go, just like you're listening to this podcast. You can hear people get coached on the podcast and apply it to your own life and situation. Both Christy and I, we try to throughout our coaching, ask questions to those who are listening either live or on the replay, like how does this apply to you, and bring it back to the coaching being for everybody, because we truly believe that one person's coaching is everybody's coaching. Okay, so now that we've talked a little bit about what group coaching in general is, I want to talk a little bit about why group coaching is ideal for teachers. Because a lot of people, I remember Christy and I, we did a free call a while back. Somebody in the comments was, how do I get private coaching? Now, private coaching is amazing. I mean, I've done it. I love it. One thing about it, super expensive. Like you cannot get private coaching without paying at least $2,000 for a package with a life coach. Now, coaching in the club, you can get a full year of coaching for just a few $100s. So huge difference between that. It is such a good deal to have group coaching. So first off, teacher budget, group coaching is amazing. But second, everybody thinks they need private coaching, right? You think like, oh, my situation is so unique, or I'm nervous to, get in front of everybody. Totally valid. But the thing about coming in a group is that you can learn, again, like I mentioned, from other people getting coached. You can also learn so much from that experience of coming on and getting coached live. A lot of people who have said they were nervous or they didn't think they'd ever come on and do it, they did it. And they're like, oh, it was actually amazing. And I loved that it was in a group, because you get that support from your community as well. And it is kept private still inside Wife Teacher Mommy Club. That's why you haven't heard any of the coaching calls where we're actually coaching people one-on-one on the podcast, because we keep that just to those who are in the club. So it is still pretty private just for those who are in there. And you can learn so much. You might think your issue is special or unique, but I'm sure everybody's issues are special and unique in their own way, but you can bring it to a call and somebody there is going to relate to it. And that alone can make you feel less alone as well. You can realize, wow, I'm not alone in this. I totally thought I was. So just that community that you get as teachers, I feel like so many of us need and crave. And maybe there are things you wouldn't even feel comfortable sharing with teachers at your school that you might be able to share in this setting. Okay. And last but not least, let's talk about how the calls work inside Wife Teacher Mommy Club. So they happen on Zoom. So if you've attended Educate and Rejuvenate or any of our webinars, those are on StreamYard, where you can see me, but I can't see you. As of right now, at the time of recording, we are using a Zoom room rather than a webinar. So everybody can see each other. If you want, you get to choose if you want your camera on or off. And that means we can see faces, which is really fun to each other and build that community. And as of right now, Chrissy or I each week are doing a call, and I'm aiming for once a week myself. And then Chrissy has some. There are some weeks that are busy. For example, the 2 weeks leading up to Educate and Rejuvenate, I was like, I'm not doing calls because lots to do to prepare for the event. So Chrissy's doing them those weeks. We make sure you always have some coaching though, some sort of coaching each week that you get to attend. And we have several different types of calls we do. So I talked about the one we do the most frequently right now is workshop style, because that is where we have a specific topic that we teach about for the first part of the call. So for some that I've done recently are declutter your mind and your space is one I did, how to create an intentional schedule and actually stick to it, creating a purposeful teacher summer, things like that, where we get to teach about something for a bit. And it's interactive. It's not just like a podcast. It's we ask questions, we see what you have in the chat, we answer your questions. And then after that, we open it up for coaching. If someone would like to come on and get coached, whether it's on that topic or something else, totally fine. That is workshop style coaching. Now, the next type is open coaching. And that is where Chrissy or I will just show up. We're like, this is open coaching. Whoever wants to come on and get coached, I am here as your coach. Raise your hand and we will coach you. That's basically what open coaching is. Then the next type of call I recently added is one called Model Mastery. And this is where we teach the model, which is the coaching tool that we use, the circumstances, thoughts, feelings, actions, results. Again, something that takes time to learn. I've talked about it on the podcast before. But what we do is we break it down, we dive into the model, and then we try to create as many models as we can through the chat. So we don't have anybody coming on screen and getting coached. It's we run through as many models as we can through the chat and we use our whiteboard with all the fun markers. and go through all the models and teach you how to use it, teach you how to use the thought download and self-coach so you can walk away understanding the model better each time you attend one of those calls. I've been studying the model for 4 years now, and I'm still learning new things about it and new things about myself, gaining new awareness from it. So these calls are super important for us to be able to learn how the model impacts our lives. Okay, so that is group coaching in a snapshot. And this is really what makes Wife Teacher Mommy Club different than so many of the other teacher memberships out there. There are lots of amazing teacher authors out there who are creating memberships where you get access to their resources. And you get that with Wife Teacher Mommy Club. We have over 1,000 resources. We have them differentiated for pre-K through 6th grade. So it's, very worth it to a wide variety of teachers to be able to use those resources. But what I think is even more important for teachers is not just printables to help save you time, but this community and the coaching to help your mindset so you can thrive in teaching and life inside and outside the classroom. And I honestly don't know of any other membership out there that does everything that we do inside Wife Teacher Mommy Club, where you get certified coaches through the Life Coach School, which is the most prestigious life coach school out there. You have the resources that you get to download. We do the big Educate and Rejuvenate conferences where you get all the perks when you are a member. It is honestly just mind-blowing to me all the things we've added to it because I'm so passionate about this offer and all that we can do to help teachers and just making it better and better. But like I said, since we've added so much, still such an amazing deal, and we will likely increase it as we get the word out about coaching more, as people understand what coaching is, because what the hurdle we're running into right now is people just don't understand coaching and the value of it. Next lowest life coaching membership that I know of from somebody certified from the Life Coach School is $59 per month. And those do not include teaching resources. So let me just tell you, we are giving all that we possibly can inside this membership. And if you join actually Brooke Castillo's membership, Self-Coaching Scholars, that is $299 per month. This is such a good deal, you guys. I am so thrilled to be offering life coaching and all the resources inside Wife Teacher Mommy Club. Would love for you to join us. Would love to see your face on our next Zoom call and not just talk to you through the podcast, but actually get to know each other. Like, I love getting to know our club members.
Okay, so hopefully you found that whole explanation of how group coaching works helpful. And if you're like, I need to learn more about this, or you have any questions about it, go to educateandrejuvenate.com/club, where you're going to learn all about it. We have a big FAQ, and you can also email us anytime at hello@educateandrejuvenate.com, and we will answer any of your questions. Now, if you are like, yes, I want in with this, we have our brand new lifetime membership. If you want to go all in and be one of our lifers, right now is the time to get introductory pricing on it, because this is something we've never offered before, and we always offer the lowest price to those who jump right in. And right now you can get it. It's under $1,000 for lifetime access and 2 one-on-one sessions with me. And most life coach school certified coaches charge at least $200 per session. And now you're getting lifetime access to all the coaching, to get continued coaching, one-on-one access with me, lifetime coaching, coming to all of our Educate and Rejuvenate events every year, and access to all of our current and future resources. We have already, last I checked, which was 3 days ago, we had 63 people who had taken us up on this offer. Like, I'm still can't believe it, but it's amazing. But for that reason, I'm actually, after this launch is over, going to be removing those one-on-one sessions, because I've got a lot of people to schedule one-on-one sessions with, and I follow through on what I say. So if you want one-on-one coaching with me, chances are I'm not going to open it again for quite some time until I get through these. So take advantage now. Or if you're like, I can't do the lifetime right now, that's not for me, especially if you haven't experienced it yet and you really just want to dip your toe in, we have subscription plans too. And our subscription plans are just as good. We've had some people be like, oh, I can't do the lifetime. And they have this all or nothing thinking about it. Like, I need to do the lifetime, or I can't do it, or I need to wait until I can do lifetime. And that's not it, right? It's just a new option, but the subscription plans, that's what we've had for years, is what we still have. And it's just $37 a month right now. It's such a good deal. Honestly, it's priceless for the community and how the difference that coaching can make in your life. And you get all the same coaching, all the same resources, all the same events, all the same deliverables, as long as you're membership is active. There's some of the less stuff coming in the mail, the bonuses, extras, but everything that's the core of the membership you get on any plan. And then if you want a planner in the mail, right now, join on the quarterly planner up. You don't have to join the lifetime. You could just join the quarterly or the annual, and you'll get a free planner in the mail while we still have them. Because like I've mentioned, we don't plan on reordering them. So whenever we run out, which people ask when we're going to run out, I'm not going to know for sure until we get through this season and get all our current members who like are going up for a year, who a lot of them are during the summer, get in theirs. We'll figure out how many we have left and kind of plan there. But again, this is not a money-driven mission for me. Like I've said before, there are times along this process, it's actually been really hard financially. There are months I didn't even pay myself, but I know that this is worth it. These tools need to be in the hand of every educator who touches lives. This community is incredible, and you'll be surrounding yourself with like-hearted educators. And we really now have people rallying behind this mission and joining us. It is not going anywhere. I'm in my 30s. This community is staying. This is my career. This is my passion. So if you join us on the lifetime, it is not going anywhere. If you join us on the monthly, we're not going anywhere. You can stay as long as you like. You can leave after 8 weeks, like this study, if you need to. But whatever it is you need, we are here for you. Go to educateandrejuvenate.com/join to learn more, to try it out, to just see if it's for you. It could just be the thing that you need to have it be your best school year ever. So check it out. And then right here on the podcast, make sure that you're subscribed so you can get the next few episodes, because we have some really good ones coming up. I'm actually on Friday airing one of the coaching calls, one of my favorite ones that we did in the club. It's actually a little different than most of the ones I've done in the club. It's one where we did a guided processing emotions exercise together. I want to air it here so all of you can see it, because it's also going to give you a sample of kind of the meditations they're going to have in the app. That is going to be a brand new thing that even our members haven't had yet. Again, we're just adding additional things, right? Because we want to support you as a whole person. So that's coming on Friday. And then next week, you're also going to be able to hear a panel of our coaches, part of the panel we did during the Educate and Rejuvenate conference. So you can really, if you're like, I don't know if this is for me, keep listening. And either way, you're going to get free support here. This podcast is going to continue to be here for you. Again, if you're still wondering about that, you can stay tuned and listen to those episodes to hear more about what coaching is like. So stay tuned, stay subscribed, and go to educateandrejuvenate.com/join if you'd like to learn more about the club. If you enjoyed this episode, please hit subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And if you're hungry for more, be sure to check out the book that I wrote. It's called Educate and Rejuvenate, a 3-step guide to revitalize your teaching, renew your spirit, and reignite your passion for life. It is scheduled to be released in the summer of 2024. This book takes all the life coaching skills we talk about here on the podcast and puts them together in one easy to understand guide. Plus, when you pre-order, you'll receive a PDF workbook and additional resources to deepen your understanding and application of the concepts we've covered on the book and on this podcast. You won't find these resources anywhere else. Visit the link in the show notes to join the waitlist and be the first to know when the book becomes available for pre-order. Let's continue this journey of growth and rejuvenation together. Until next time.